Well, in economics, we think of anything as having a value if people get utility or happiness from it. And obviously, people get happiness from seeing a beautiful landscape. So it has economic value, and if something happens to damage the landscape, that has an economic cost, even though that cost doesn't show up in a market price or a market value, where we basically figure out what people are willing to pay to either have a change that they would like, say to create a new forest, or to stop a change that would make them unhappy, like some pylons. We asked a random sample of people living in this area if they would be willing to pay higher electricity bills to have this transmission line put underground rather than being above ground so they could see it. And what we found was that a majority of people were willing to pay to have that happen, and the mean willingness to pay that we estimated. I'm just consulting my notes because I haven't looked at it for a while. What was the average willingness to pay? It was £179 per household per annum, with a 95% confidence interval of 162 to 195. So what we're saying is that, roughly speaking, people would be willing to pay about, let's say, £150 a year, which is a lot extra to protect their local landscape. Well, clearly, if you were doing what we call a cost-benefit analysis of this proposal to build a new major transmission line, then clearly the cost of labour and the cost of steel and the cost of all the materials that go to make that investment. But there's also this environmental cost in terms of landscape effects. And you might also expect that if they are constructing these pylons in moorland areas, then that could also result in some kind of water pollution, soil erosion problems. And then finally, people also worry about the impacts on birds. So there may be another economic cost there as well.